now to the news things I stumbled upon recently on the web. Let's look on the browsers first. To be honest, there's nothing revolutionary in the current versions, but what I is coming soon into the Chrome is the recording user flow, so-called new feature. It's called recording user flows and it's a new feature for the dev tool. Recent version of Chrome is 95, so next 96 is being released. So starting that on the nightly builds of Chrome, you should be with these user flows. And what is it about? If I understand well, it means that you can start recording, as we can already now record the. We can now record the video capture of the user's journey. So you can start seeing what your tester is doing on the website, then also evaluate it in the DevTools. You can also mock up some etc. And this feature is really powerful. So check it out. This you will soon in our Twitter Frontendisti on Twitter. So you can click through or just Google it out and check it out, because I think it's very, very nice and big for user testing. Otherwise, there is nothing in current browsers. Let's look what I caught in the net recently. One of these things was an article by Ken C. Dodds, who presents in his article the power of custom properties. He calls them, many of called the CSS variables. Ken C. is a standard guy and fan of CSS, but he presents in his article how combination of this approach and these native CSS variables, if you like, can boost some kind of performance of your app. And he's using the variables in a React context for theming. So check this article. It's a really nice. Another thing I stumbled upon, I think it was last week or this week, I can't remember. It was this nice trick how to add with these tricks personally, how to behavior missing into existing tools, or we can in our browsers. And this little trick brings the missing support size diagonal. I think it's better to show example. I hope it will on CodePen. What it does, instead of from the bottom right corner using these few lines, I'll show it in the CodePen rather here, these few lines of code, you can emulate, or you can basically have this resizing from the center, so diagonal thing, only using this new feature or new property of CSS, quite well supported at the moment, the aspect ratio. So it's nice little trick. Maybe you might find useful in your work. And another thing, it was recently there was a CSS. It's closed already. I don't know if you've been through it. I disappointed about my is dropping immensely since the last year. So there are features in CSS I really don't know about. I confess. And this is these dynamic viewport units. To Google it, the dynamic viewport is sized with dynamic consideration of the user agent and the current device. Basically, all these funny notches at the top, sometimes at the bottom screen of your device for camera, etc., that create problems to use standard viewport units. And you have to do the tricks, especially on iOS. This is all gone because units, DVH in this case, are now put in WebKit. So you get all these hacks to work with 100% in your application or on your web iOS. So this was a nice thing, and I really like, and I didn't know about, to be honest, beforehand. So there are still things to learn in CSS. And last news I met this week are these 3 articles, all are UX. I really love the first one. It's really complex, as it says in the title, complex case study on to make the big. I will show you an example. Really big tables to be inside a small mobile devices. So it's not reformatting it or making more narrow or do any tricks with data attributes you may know. It's really to rethink the whole component and how to serve the data inside of stable your end user. And what is really nice on this article is quite deep and thorough study of the design thinking and UX thinking behind the process. So definitely a longer read and worth reading. And it's really inspiring. Another article from UX branch is this 10 misconceptions on UX. It's basically fun, big fun. Make it after lunch, relax and enjoy. Browse this website, which is really funny and witty, and it brings you through, as it says, through these very common and commonly shared misconceptions on UX. And even more, you can open the DevTools and look at how the website is done, because it's really interactive, very nice, and unusual. And the last article on UX this week is this collection UX best practices for building any kind of user interfaces. So you work for smart TVs or mobile phones or there is really a lot of theoretical stuff. I admit it's theoretical. You don't find any code there, but a lot of interesting stuff or about UX. But I think it's also worth reading, and it's definitely not boring reading, and can help you in everyday work. So this was the brief of this meetup. These slides, links to all these articles or sample codes, code samples will be available on our Twitter, Frontendisti. And I'm passing the word back to the main hall. Last talk is slowly switching from here, Prague, Pipegraph, to San Francisco. Bye.